Hello, how are you doing today? So today I'll be telling you about the recent story which has been coming out across the internet, and maybe you've come across of it and you don't have an idea what might be happening and what might have taken place for this type of thing to happen. So today I'll be just explaining briefly and what took up about into this particular submarine sinking. First of all, it is a submersible submarine. There are two differences between a submarine and a thing which is submersible. A submersible submarine is the one that it needs something to take it to a particular level in the sea, and it launches itself from that particular level. But a submarine, it doesn't need anything for it to be launched. It can just go inside the sea and come out of the sea. So this story is about the recent thing and also the unfortunate thing which happened to the Ocean Gate. And there were there are one billionaire and one person from, I don't know it was which country, where there's also him and his son succumbed to the death. And also there are two colleagues of that particular company, the pilot and another colleague which were working for that particular company also died. So the people who lost their lives in this particular thing were five people who lost their lives. So I'll be telling you what happened and what it took for this particular submarine to be made and to reach where it is today. So it is just a funny coincidence when you're going to see the Titanic. Remember the Titanic? It happened around in the years of 1920s to 1930s. It was a very shocking headline and it caught many people's eyes and also ears. And also it was the talk of the century also because of this particular ship which sank in the ocean called Titanic. Even they made a movie about the Titanic. So the shocking thing and also the we can say it was like a coincidence is that the owner who made the particular this submarine Ocean Gate, the parents died in the Titanic. So it is just a coincidence that this person who made this particular Ocean Gate and also was also a pilot. He was the head pilot in this particular mission, and also he succumbed to the death. His wife, the parents were died in the Titanic and were also in the Titanic. So it was just a calling. We can say it was a calling, and also the Titanic also, remember, it claimed a lot of lives. And you going down there also, maybe there are some forces which also took these other lives also, we can say that, because the Ocean Gate has been now the talk of it has taken so much of the headlines in the past few days, past few weeks. It was on Sunday last the day before yesterday. I saw that the Ocean Gate was looking for a new pilot. So it got a lot of backlash, and also people were reprimanding it because there's not so many days have already passed that they're looking for another pilot. And also the particular also equipment and also that how the submarine was made, it wasn't the standard way of making submarines. And also there were the charges which they were charging people to be in that particular submarine. It was $250,000, and $250,000 is very cheap. For something like that to happen, they can charge around $1 million. That's the most enough money that they can charge for any person to take that expedition, because there are so many risks it takes for anyone or any type of machine to go into that particular level. There was a director of the Titanic, James Cameron. He also went into a submarine and went to view the Titanic. That happened after he acted and also directed that movie. From that directing of that movie, he got a lot of wealth by other movies which he directed. That wealth made him to create his own submarine, which could go into that depth of the ocean and to view the Titanic. One thing surprisingly he found is that he found the clock which he had pictured in the movie of Titanic was the same clock which was inside that Titanic, which he saw when he was taking that dive. And after that dive which he took, that particular ship couldn't be allowed to go back into the sea. It only had one lifespan. As it goes back into the sea, when it goes and dives, it won't be able to be used again. Although it can be used, but the engineers refuse because when it goes inside the sea, the level of efficiency and also the level of which it was made, it has reduced. So it is less more than what it was the first time before going into the sea. So engineers refused and say they can't allow it to go back to the sea. So right now that particular submarine which James Cameron used, it is like an artifact where people can view it. It was a nice artifact. You see now this submersible submarine of the Ocean Gate, it's called Titan. It went more than 4 times inside the ocean. And remember the other one which Cameron used, it only went 1 time and the engineers refused. So we can say this Ocean Gate submarine was a particular thing of low budget, and also it wasn't that made to be so expensive because they wanted to try out things, and also they didn't follow laws. One thing about the pilot of that particular submarine said that if you follow laws, and also if you don't take risk, you won't be able to succeed, because he said that if you are afraid to wake up in the morning, if you are afraid to brush your teeth because you'll hurt your mouth, every day when we wake up, we take risk. So he decided to take risk at all, because we cannot just be there not doing anything. We just have to take risk. That's why he made that particular submarine, and he didn't follow all the laws of making submarine. One of the causes and also one of the problem with that particular submarine is that they were made with 3 different types of components. One was carbon fiber, the other one was titanium, and the other one was glass, because the particular place where you could view the ocean was a glass window, and inside that particular submarine it was just a hollow point where it had one screen over here and another screen over here. So it was just a basic submarine. It wasn't that high-end submarine. There is a particular headgear for where pilots wear in that headgear. That headgear is around, it's around 250,000 over there. It's for the which the military wear for the jet fighters. And that headgear is so expensive because the type of conditions and also the type of methods and also the testings which have gone into that particular headset for the pilot is so many times more than the production cost. So the testing is what matters for most of the companies and also most of the jet fighters. If you compare that type of goggle and that type of headgear, it is when you buy it on an Apple store, the type of headgear which Apple sells, it's compared to the headgear which the jet fighters use. Apple, for it is cheap, but for the headgear of Apple, it hasn't been tested and also been undergone so many tests. That's why the headgear of the jet fighters is so expensive. So this particular submarine had to go, if it was following according to the rules and the things which it wanted to happen, it would have gone so many tests to make it so expensive. And one person could have been charged $1 million, but then they were charging $250,000, which was a cheap and low budget. And one other thing which they were using to control that particular submarine, it was a particular pad it was like just a game pad. It was a normal game pad where you could thrust forward the submarine and also back the submarine, and also the submarine could go sideways. So that was just a simple gamepad. So we can say that submarine was a cheap made, and also it wasn't that quality, and also they had evaded laws for the American laws of sinking that submarine. They had evaded so many laws, and that's one of the reasons. If they would have gone and also tested this particular submarine couldn't have been allowed to go into that particular depth of the ocean. And one thing about the ocean, when you go inside, when you come out also out of the ocean, the particular components of the submarine and also any type of body which goes inside the ocean and out. If it is made more than three particular materials, those materials expand and contract because they have inside the ocean there is something called PSI, atmospheric pressure. And when you go deeper into the ocean, the pressure increases. That's why people who have visited space are more even than the people who have visited the ocean. The ocean hasn't been visited by many people. And one thing is the particular type of things to be used to visit the ocean is a lot of money, and also it is a lot of investment. So it is easier to go to space than to go inside the depth of the ocean and to see what is there. So this, and just imagine what if NASA has failed to go inside the deep side of the ocean. What about this particular company called Ocean Gate, which doesn't have enough resources and enough wealth to go and do this particular mission? So it was just a suicide mission, and it was also tricky. So that's the story of what happened in this particular Ocean Gate story and this particular submarine and the things that took place. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe to this channel and watch out for more videos which will be released. And I say thank you. Stay tuned till we meet next time.